Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So International Women's Day Boss Rush Challenge came out, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to easily defeat every single opponent in here and what are the best counters, and simultaneously I will try my best to kind of like clear it with the 4-star champions as I'm trying to explain fights. So when we reach the first fight, we have special thanks to Laura Grant, which is Brian Grant's wife, so thank you. We have Matador node, which basically says every time she activates special attack, we gain a bar of power, and that's about it. Spite, we all know what that does. Godslayer, more critical damage and special attacks, and basically you can't reverse the heal. But the thing is, this fight does not have a level 3, which makes it incredibly easy with any champion. And yeah, so long as you're basically able to deliver more damage than she can heal, which shouldn't be too hard, it's extremely easy to finish out these fights. Now, one interesting strategy here is abusing Corvus and just launching his special attacks, because you don't need to waste your glaive charges, and she's gonna keep throwing her special attacks. We're gonna keep gaining power, and yeah, so there is no need to actually strike her ever. And then we can just drop our special attacks and absolutely shred into this lady. So it is perfectly doable even with the 3-star Corvus. I did it in a stream several times. So actually this whole challenge is perfectly completable with 3-star champions. I did a 3-star run initially where I used a couple of items, couple of revives on like a rogue fight. But if I had Void, I think I would have been able to squeeze through without items. And then I tried doing itemless 3-star run, but I failed a bit because, well, just got a bit worn out. Either way, so Corvus, super simple. You can always land a couple of hits if you choose to, just to gain that additional damage. But yeah, Corvus works perfect. So does any other champion realistically, because she does not have her level 3 active, so you don't have to worry about Spite, and Spite is in fact helping you a lot in this fight, because then you don't need to rely on parries to find openings or do anything of the sort. So super easy, nothing to worry about. And yeah, this fight's about to be over soon as she pretty much drops a special attack. See, she has a level 3, but she cannot use it, so we're not worried. How, what, 8 glaive charges left, perfectly enough. Let's just finish it off here, and yeah, that was as simple as that with 4-star Corvus, doable with 3-star Corvus as well, or basically just use any champion that can deliver some damage. First fight is really easy. Now, second one is Medusa, and it has Invade in it, and I actually quite like that, the fact that it has Invade, so that again enables Corvus to deliver extreme damage through block. Now I do have like a loading screen pop up here, but other than the Invade, there's nothing really tricky going on in this fight. We're going to check it out in a second, what are all of the nodes. And so yeah, Counter Strike, basically every time you dex, you gain 5% fury. When you reach 10 furies, she goes unblockable, but that's not even really important because you don't want to block anyways because of the Invade. Pilfer regeneration can be annoying, so avoid champions with a lot of buffs. Invade is a node that can actually be really fun, and Corner, basically just avoid damage or time champions. Now, a key change here is she has a level 3 active though, so you do need to be careful pushing her to level 3. And again, so one simple thing you want to do here is just hit her block, and that is about it. Not much else there. We can see that she's going down extremely rapidly. Now, you could also obviously try to get the we messed up here because I got greedy. I tried to get the auto block charge, but hey, it's not the most kind of like important thing. Now Wasp, but yeah, Invade Medusa is just pretty much easy. Just hit her block a lot, ideally with like Corvus or something, and don't get hit, and that's about it. So now we have Spiked Armor, Dismay, and Enhanced Shock and Plague Mine. Now, one easy way to deal with it, obviously you can eat the Spike Armor damage, and this fight I'm actually going to try it for the first time. I'm going to use Crossbones, because it's important to remember that Crossbones and Guillotine 2099 cannot crit. So that should make the fight relatively simple as well. We cannot crit initially, since we don't want to get that evade. I'm just gonna launch heavy attacks because Crossbone has one hit heavy attack, and then once she actually drops her level 1s or heavy attacks, we can go in with full combos. Not much to worry about there. So as we can see, perfect counter for spiked armor. Now other champions that you can relatively easily use here would be Namor, because you can just reflect the spiked armor damage, and Quake absolutely ignores everything that's on this node, so nothing to worry about. Or if you want, you can bring in Mystic champions with Mystic Dispersion and take advantage of those buffs that she's going to be getting. But here we can see, even though Crossbones doesn't maybe necessarily have the highest damage output, the fight is relatively simple, not much to worry about. Just be wary of that evade Wasp has. Wasp is always somewhat slightly annoying opponent. In my initial runs I just used Quake for this, so the Quake works perfectly fine as well. And what else can be used? So well, technically if you use strong enough champion, you can use pretty much anyone and just ignore the spiked armor damage, so long as you know how to fight the Wasp. But yeah, Crossbones, we can see that not a single trigger on that spiked armor. And even though it's not the quickest fight, but yeah, even a 4-star Crossbones has this covered. %. But yeah, my personal answer here was Quake, so nothing too tricky with this fight as well. Just don't mess up, don't let the dismay catch you, so don't trick those awaits. Interesting option for this fight was I just used Corvus and hit Wasp's block pretty much indefinitely, making sure I don't run out of charges. And that shock does nothing really to Corvus, and Corvus can't die from damage over time debuffs. So even when she does evade, places that shock on you, that dismay doesn't kill you. So yeah, I kind of finished this fight with a 3-star Corvus as well in quite funny fashion in a live stream that I just had, which I'm gonna leave a link to in the video description in case you guys want to like check out my personal rants over there. Yeah, so now we are off to next fight. Next fight is made by Katie Candy, so huge shout out to Katie. I know many people hate it. It has kinetic transference, oscillates, enhanced special 1 and aggression regeneration. Now there's nothing that tells us that we cannot reverse that regeneration, and even the oscillate can be annoying, and you might need to evade some level 1s. Captain America Infinity War can deal so well with this fight. And as we can see, that kinetic transference also gets mitigated by the petrified debuffs. So here we have to evade the level 1, which is not too bad. Now she starts healing because she's in oscillate defensive phase, which is fine because she has that aggression regeneration healing, so it doesn't matter if she heals back to full, because later on if you reverse it, it's just gonna go down so much quicker. As you can see here, she's absolutely melting away. Nothing tricky in this fight. Completely done and dusted. So this is actually extremely easy fight if you can cheese any heal reversal method. So you can use Cap, you can use Void for this, probably a bunch of other champions as well that can reverse heal, or at least stop and mitigate it, so that's quite easy. Or you can just choose to out damage that Emma Frost with like some bigger damage dealing champions like Corvus, for instance, I imagine would be extremely great for this. And now we are at arguably the hardest fight here, because that rogue with invade and brawl and aspect of death is a tricky cookie to cut. We are going to be trying to use Void. I have not ever really used Void in this matchup myself, but the point is we're just going to be trying to maintain our distance. Never ever hit her. wait for the heal reversal to kick in. So in theory it should work quite well. In practice, possibly not so much. But anyways, we haven't really gotten lucky with our debuffs yet. Made some mistakes were made for sure. Okay, now that heal. And we made a mistake. I'm sure you can do this fight with Void relatively easy. We're gonna finish it off with Corvus. We did some mistakes, but hey, you know, it still works because we hit her a bit too much, unfortunately. Corvus should be able to provide us with some good results. Because obviously Corvus does love invade node quite a bit. %. It's okay. So yeah, it is a tricky fight, but you can definitely get through it. Now we can just use any champion realistically to finish this out. Shouldn't be a problem. Until I mess up here. So yeah, Rogue is definitely going to be one of the more annoying solutions. So you can either try and deal with the Unstoppable using like Stealth Enhanced Spider-Man or something, or you can just try and use Corvus and use the Invade, which is going to be tricky with the Brawl. Or lastly, you can try and reverse the heal. So it's pretty much up to you, but it is not the kind of like top of the mill easy fight. Anyway, so we're gonna select Top Banana because we haven't had that title yet, and now we have Final Boss here. Now Final Boss is Black Widow Clairvoyant with Mighty Charge, which is annoying. Safeguard, Empowered Immunity, so she will gain power if you try to bleed her. So damage over time effect should be a good option, aside from bleed, because she's immune from bleed. And Matador and Curse of Death. So I was kind of planning to use Void for this one, but let's see if we can get it done with Ghost. So that Mighty Charge might be quite annoying for us, but that Safeguard kind of makes a lot of this stuff quite meaningless anyways. But yeah, as you can see here, Ghost can bypass Mighty Charge relatively well. Whoopsie. So we did make a mistake there. Alright, I can still parry her. So because of Safeguard, this is going to be a longer fight than it's necessary, but definitely doable with many different champions. So let's see if we can get through this with Ghost. Evidently not. Okay, so last one I guess is going to be Cap. And let's see how we can do it. This isn't going too well for me, but at the same time I am just trying to talk quite a bit over here, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, because of Safeguard. Could get a bit annoying, but let's try and push her to more specials. It's fine. So we can't really deliver much damage from a single hit, but hey, we still can corner her and deal with her relatively fine. Get some bleeds on us, that's not end of the world. let's push at level 2. It should get us some of that sweet willpower heal, but it didn't because I shrugged it off. Still fine. Okay, 29% left, not too bad. Yeah, initially, again, just Quake this fight. It was so much easier with Quake, trust me. Just placing some of those bleeds on us, not too bad. 8% left. And that should be all she brought. So not a perfect run, but definitely doable. That safeguard's arguably probably the most annoying thing there on this champion. But all in all, definitely relatively easy thing to do. So it's certainly accomplishable with 4-star champions without any items quite easily. Especially, yeah, well, 4 stars can do it. We did it with 3 stars as well if you're maybe willing to invest a couple of items or 2. So all in all, I think it's a fun little side event. Giving those 10,000 5-star shards is a decent, nice boost, and it's quite easy. I am sure there are people who are going to be saying like it's hard or it's BS, something like that. But the thing is, each of these fights in here has more or less a trick to them, or like a key or answer that you need to find. So let's recap quickly. So X23. Super straightforward, just taking anything that deals damage and hit her, ignore the fact that she reaches level 3. Medusa, hit her block, simple as that, hit her block and the fight will be over. Wasp, ideally you want to counter to those spiked armor, so Guillotine 2099, Quake, Namor, Omega Red can counter it, Crossbones, or just eat up the damage if you have strong enough champions, and don't hit her if her evade isn't on cooldown. Emma Frost, 100% just a simple reverse heal node and not much else to it. Aggression regeneration, so any method to reverse the healing is perfect, or if you just want to blitz through it, bring somebody that hits insanely hard and you'll do just fine as well. Rogue is the trickiest fight in there because of the brawl and invade, so you can't really parry and rely on that piece of strategy. So who did the Rogue fight? Special thanks to Dragonface. So Dragon. So yeah, Dragon has the hardest fight in here, and still, aggression regeneration means you can reverse the heal if you can dance about and survive long enough, which might be quite tricky as we saw with Void because we didn't get a good RNG. Our Petrifies came in last. So that strategy obviously can occasionally fail, but still doable. Or you can bring in Chorus, hit the block a lot, or just bring in anything that deals a lot of damage. Or you can bring in champions that deal with unstoppable stuff. But with Rogue, it's going to be fairly tricky because she shrugs off all the debuffs relatively quickly. So keep that in mind. And the final boss is nothing, again, too tricky. Mighty Charge might be annoying to play around with, but that's just a bit of practice. Safeguard essentially just extends the fight a bit, and everything else there isn't too meaningful. So, relatively easy event, cool event, I liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you were struggling with any of the fights, hopefully this video helped you with ideas how to counter some champions or what to do and what matters in these fights. And if not, then leave a comment and I'll try to answer the questions for you. All that being said, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!